One of the problems with making something beautiful is that everything else around it starts to look really ugly unless it's up to the same standard. So recently I made this really nice shrimp tank. I absolutely love it. It's doing well. The shrimp are actually breeding. The tank looks great. Love everything about it. Oh, I added this HC Cuba to it as well. Just plonked it in there just to see how it would do. I've never kept it before, so I wanted to put it in a tank that just, you know, is nice and fresh and just see how it's adapting. And it's doing really well. Looks to be doing great, look, doesn't it? Anyway, so I've already cleaned out this tank that I wasn't happy with. I've also cleaned up this one down here. This one will be done as well, although it's got a black rim around the edge. I'm not sure how I feel about that in the moment because I've become quite snobby with glass and I'm all about the Opti-White look. But it's really growing on me actually. I'm quite liking it. Maybe a little nano salt water? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Up the top here we've got the no filter chili respora tank. It was going through a sort of hazy patch. That's almost gone now. This happens with no filter setups. They can go through phases where they just sort of cloud over, but then they sort themselves out. And then next to it, I've got this tank, which is just an abomination of moss and growth. And again, it's super, super healthy, and there's a ton of shrimp actually breeding in there. So yeah, let's carry on making everything beautiful, and let's sort this tank here. So this light is a little bit more high-end than I'm used to. You can see actually I've got one on the background as well. I received that one a long time ago and just placed it on there. And I saw this one come up really cheap. So second hand, look for deals. eBay it was, I got it for. It's used, but from what I can tell, it's like brand new. There's not even a mark on it. So yeah, happy with that. Really good deal. So yeah, I think this could be a really good sort of starter size aquarium. Now it's not big, so you wouldn't want to be putting big fish in it, but some small tetras, a little shoal of 5 maybe. I'm going to be using this as a grow out tank for babies. Now the first babies I've got to put in there some Platy ones. I think they're going to look really cool against like a small nature style aquarium. So that's what I want to do, just like a classic nature style, but with those babies in, I think it'll look really cute. So you can see there we've got a nice clean base, really fresh start. If we come around to the side here, you can see how we've capped completely the nutrient layer down underneath. Now this sand that we've got on top here isn't going to be like the finished look. I just find it's a really good grain size to be able to plant into, so that's why I've gone with that. Let me show you. I mean, that's not really showing you, is it? But anyway, so yeah, the next thing we want to do is just get a little bit of hardscape in. We can start building up the look of what we want. As always, no idea what I'm doing yet, and hopefully it sorts itself out as it goes along. What an awesome piece of wood. Now they say go big or go home, so that's what I've done. I've just gone for it. I initially put that in and thought that's too big, and then I stepped back and went screw it, looks good. As long as there's some swim room for the babies, we're all good. And there's going to be, isn't there? A few little rocks around that base area, but not too many. Then I'm going to go for quite a lot of epiphyte plants and stem plants all behind. It should look pretty good. Something nice in the foreground as well. yeah, really liking that so far. Nice and simple. Actually just 3 items, isn't there? But I need to add something for a little bit of detail, and for that I'm going to use twigs. I've been using them a few setups recently, and I really like the look it gives. Just totally naturalistic and like it's part of a flowing river. Okay, there we go. That's what I've settled on. It kind of gives you that impression of just a corner of a river somewhere. A load of sticks have just piled down and got caught up on that bigger piece. Yeah, I really like that. So the next job now is going to be adding in some detail all around that base area so it doesn't look so sort of clean. That's not the look I go for, as you can clearly see. If you're going to have it like this on the top, you can't have a clean base, can you? It just doesn't go together. Oh, saying that, actually, we need to glue these down. These sticks will just float in no time, the little ones. So we need to glue those down, and it won't hurt to glue everything together. Nothing's going to move then. So that is it, everything now stuck down. Like, what's good about this is that when I'm maintaining when I'm doing maintenance on the tank now, I can knock stuff and it won't actually matter, because inevitably that will happen if you're doing, you know, proper maintenance. You've got to get behind things. A lot of people always ask me, how do you vacuum the sand? I've never ever vacuumed sand. It's just not something I do. All I do is just sort of waft the water near the sand so that any detritus comes into the water column. So yeah, I just never vacuum sand. I don't see the need of it. If you've got plants in there, they're going to use the nutrients that go into the sand anyway. Obviously, I think that's completely different in a tank without sand. Although saying that, I would never vacuum this tank here. This is my neon tetra tank. It's like a black water, so there's no plants in it apart from what I've recently added at the top here. But yeah, again, still no problem. When I do a water change, just waft around a little bit and that stays absolutely perfect. Really hard to not get reflection of black water tank unless you put a full dark curtain behind you, but never mind, it's not about that one, it's about this one. So you can very easily go over the top with the plants like this in such a small scape. That is enough. I mean, a couple of little bits of moss there, and you can see what I've done right at the top of the water line because I'm hoping to get it to grow up the wood. I've managed to achieve that in this tank I've got here, my Asian fish aquarium. If you look at the top section here, look, it's all growing up. So nice. Yeah, so I want to do that. Now when you first put the mosses on, they can look a bit scraggly like that, so I'll probably trim that so it's nice and tight, because like these loose bits here, you know, once the water's in, I'll trim them and siphon out the bits that get trimmed off, or let them actually go around the tank because they'll settle in other areas and start growing quite nicely as well. But I want to leave it like that for those plants and just keep it. It looks really cool, doesn't it? It does need some stems though, just peeking over the backgrounds area, and some nice little detailed foreground plants as well, but not too much. We're almost there. It's all about sort of stepping back, keep having a look, adding little things, maybe taking some away, whatever you think is good. But for me, so so far. I mean, some people would definitely say that that's enough, but I just want a little bit more detail, just a little bit, a hint on the bottom, for instance, a little bit green. Before I do any more planting though, I'm just going to fill it up with water before all this dries out. And also I find it can be sometimes easier just to plant when there's water in the tank. Really pleased with how it's turned out. Tank's ready to go, but we need to do a few things first just to prepare the water. So first of all, I'm going to chuck in some beneficial bacteria. That starts the cycling process. Every day I'm going to take out 50% of the water and put in fresh, clean, dechlorinated water as well and topping it up. I'll keep doing that for a good week, maybe 2 weeks. That combined with the beneficial bacteria and all the plants in the tank mean that we should keep everything safe for the fish because they're producing waste all the time and ammonia. This is what's known as a fish in cycle. It's something I do with all my tanks, always have done, so I've got a lot of experience with it. Read up on it if you're not familiar with it, or just use another system if you're not comfortable doing that. But like I say, it works really well for me and always has done. Anyway, let's get some baby fish in.